Sorry, ate into your tongue.
Shocker.
Well, you know what? The problem was Josh. he couldn't get it together over here.
Sit down. I'm just going to say that whether Josh were there or not, you still would have eaten into my tongue. And welcome to the real world of having to actually work and not have a 3-week vacation.
Oh. I still take 2 weeks off every year. She didn't want to do the mistletoe kiss because she didn't want to work in December.
I was working in my own special way. It's great to be out of the state of Texas. They let me out of my office. When I went to my marketing director, Jim Brothers, and our park president, Steve Martindale, and said, they want me to go to winter warm-up. Can I go? And they just kind of looked at me with deer in headlights, and it's like, they want me to present. It's like, oh, you'll be working. Yes. Okay, you can go. So I'm glad to be here, and it's good to see a familiar face. David Lipnicki is in my region, South Central region. So nice to be able to look over there whenever I have my Tourette's moment and say something inappropriate. I'll try my best not to, but sometimes the filter just is a little slow. So, I will go ahead and tell you this as we continue to watch the transfer happen. I do have little tchotchkes. I'm not going to be mean to my counterpart Gene and have him go around and hand things out and sweat. But I'm also not doing it for another reason. So I handed these out to my ACE friends during Winterfest, and the poor presenter after me, all you could hear was, because these are little spinners, and when you spin them, they do like a 360 loop, and then they continue spinning. So the challenge is trying to find the right twist, and all you could hear was people twisting on the table. So I felt awful, but I thought everyone would fail miserably, and then they would give up, but they were persistent. So I don't want to do that to you. I'm good. Okay, not as much rambling, but there's no clicker. Are you clicking? You want to click? So before we click on this, I'll set this up. How many of you have visited Six Flags Over Texas? Yeah? You've never been. Well, I do hope you come this season. It's going to be so much fun, promise. And I don't break promises. So what is the one thing that kind of chaps your hide when you're coming into the park?
The fact that they're 20 hours away.
Okay. You won't have to worry about that. You get it for free. It's all good. But for me, one of the things that just makes me cringe, and the rest of our team, is our front gate. Because you get there and you're like, yes, I got here early, shouldn't be a problem. And then it's like everyone is like kissing one another, trying to, make their way through. Well, we are making some dramatic changes that we are so excited about because it is going to really enhance the guest experience from the moment you come into the park. So instead of me rambling and trying to get you to understand it, I decided that I would do an interview with our operations director. Kind of caught him off guard, you can tell by the way he's talking, because he keeps looking at me like, okay. But I think this will help paint a picture, and I know for you guys, you're like, okay, it's a front gate, you're expanding it, looks great. But I wanted you to see just how invested we are into making sure that the guest experience is a great one from beginning to end. So bear with us and take a look at this video.
I'm at the front of Six Flags Over Texas, and as you can see, we still have some Christmas up, just like a lot of you, I bet. We have a lot of exciting things to talk about for 2016. One of them is going to happen right up here. I have our operations director, Chris Baker, who is going to talk a little bit about what we can expect. Come here, Chris.
Hey, Sharon.
Hey, high five. We love high fives at Six Flags.
Hey guys.
All right, Chris, so tell us what is happening up here.
Well,
Of course, I already know, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, so we're going to change our guest entry experience and get them in the park a lot faster. So we're going to take our metal detectors at our front gate turnstiles, and we're going to separate them from the turnstiles and move them outside of our ticket booths to our covered walkway area. So as you come in off the parking lot, you'll go through metal detection first. As you proceed into, and then go through ticket taking and into the park. The benefit of doing that is we're able to expand the number of metal detectors that we'll have at the front gate from 14 units to 20 units, which is almost a 50% increase, which is very significant. You know, metal detection is very important to us to, operate in a secure and safe facility, but we also want to get our guests into the park and to their first ride as fast as possible. So having more units and more capability for capacity is going to be huge for us, and it's going to completely change that entry experience.
So why don't you walk us through a little bit? I know it's hard to really get a visual, but just kind of step us through and show us the highlights.
Absolutely. So we're going to draw the traffic flow in through the covered walkway, whereas in the past, oftentimes they kind of stayed on the left side, and you get to go through the scenic archways and under the shelter of our covered walkways, you go through metal detection. So you'll be in the shade. If we're getting any sprinkles or rain, you'll be under cover and shelter for that. Yes, absolutely. But you're going to be safe and secure under here as you go through metal detection. So it's a much more pleasant experience as you go through that screening process. And as you get to almost 2/3 of the way down this corridor is where we're going to locate the metal detectors, and it's going to go straight to this whole pathway across. On the far left side is going to be the exit corridor for the park. So it's the 12-foot wide opening for guests to exit, which gives us a very wide pathway. So as guests are exiting at the end of the night, we're not elbow to elbow, we're kind of spread out, gives us more room. We also have the ability with the metal detectors to just open all of those up as exit corridors as well, so that our guests can exit straight through all of them and allow the exit traffic to go through lots
Harley
of them.
plan to spend Sanity, 2 Zamperla rides, and then a Husk manufacturer ride. We can click. There we go. So on the park mapping guide, that's never to scale, drives me crazy, but Good Times Square is no more. Now it is just all Gotham City. And so there they are, right over there. So Johnny Rockets, and then the 2 new rides, and that's just Crazy Legs, we just renamed it, so. The 3 new rides thing that I did on New Cap announcement, that worked for like 2.2 seconds, and then I started getting called out, and I went back to the bosses. I was like, okay, we need another pitch. That's not working. That's not a new ride. And they're like, oh, but it's a new name. It's not a new ride. So we have finally backed off that. This is what it's, if we can click to the next, this is what it looks like kind of to scale. And as you can see, Giant Discovery is just really going to make an impact on the landscape there. Really excited about that. That's the Riddler Revenge ride, and I'm actually excited to ride that one. A lot of people were shocked when I said that. I don't know, it may change after I do my first ride. Let's click and see what's here. Okay, so some stats. Elevation 147 feet, and it's a 3-minute ride, about 52 inches for a minimum height. And what we are really excited about these, the 2 new, like legit new rides, is that they're high capacity rides. So we'll be able to really help our ride throughput by including these 2 rides into our lineup. This one is info about Catwoman Whip. This one is a 2-minute ride, and I actually have some really cool video that Zamperla sent us like 2 days ago. And I looked at Joseph, who works in my office, and I said, let's throw that in there. I haven't shown it yet. So you guys will see it first in just a sec. There's Harley Twin. We can skip. It's going to be a great ride. It'll be great. It'll be great. So there you go. There's the layout again. And then I also have Steve talking a little bit with Joseph Moreno, who is my communications specialist. He does social media and website stuff for me. He did an interview with Steve about the construction that's taking place over in the new rides area. Let's take a look at that.
Everyone, it's Joseph Steve Martindale with Six Flags Over Texas. How are you doing tonight?
Good, that's fine.
Good. So we're here in the construction site for the new rides that are coming in 2016. Tell us a little bit about what's going on and a little bit about the rides themselves.
Well, we're putting in two rides. They're right next to each other, right across the street from one another, in what was the old Good Time Square section of the park. Behind us is the foundations for the Endeavor ride, which is got 4 big piers. They run down about 60 feet, and then there's a grade beam that ties them all together, a big chunk of concrete right here in these forms. They'll be pouring that probably later today. Then across the street from us, right behind the camera, that's the Giant Discovery Foundation. It's got 16 piers, various sizes. Those run anywhere from 50 to 70 feet into the ground. And then there'll be a grade beam ties all them together that is the main foundation. Then of course at both rides, they'll come in with flat work, with just flat concrete to make the deck of the ride, the loading platform and the queue and the rest of the structures around it.
Right. So tell us a little bit about the rides themselves. This one, they're both really awesome rides. Giant Discovery, tell us a little bit about that one and why people would really enjoy that.
Well, first off, the thing that's common to both of the rides that I really like is their high-capacity rides. Giant Discovery will seat 40 passengers for each cycle. Catwoman Endeavor ride is going to seat 48 people per ride. And particularly for the Endeavor ride, the thing that's interesting is it's very similar to the ride we had here that we put in 1977, the Spinnaker ride. And old aficionados of the park remember when the Spinnaker came in, and it was a sensation, and people really liked it, and it was here for a long time. But it got old. It was time for it to go. This is the new generation of that ride. In the old ride, you'd see straddling a seat 2 in a gondola with a closed hatch. In this, you're actually sitting in a seat more similar to an inverted coaster like Batman, where your feet are dangling from the ride. So it'd be a very open feeling as you're going around. This ride will be the first of its kind in that there is an Endeavor ride that's built with 24 seats. Well, this will have double the seats. Now, it's not twice the size of that other ride, but it has twice the capacity. This ride will have a fully programmable lighting package. Actually, it'll look fairly flat until the ride is in motion. And once it's in motion, it'll actually elevate up with kind of an articulated hydraulic arm. And as it's doing so, the ride is spinning. And so you get a lot of inversions. If you get dizzy, it might not be the ride for you. It's really going to be good, and it's got a pretty good presence when it's all the way elevated. Over at the Riddler ride, the pendulum action on it really creates a lot of interest. Visually, it's pretty impressive. It'll be on something like a tripod, a 4-legged tripod kind of structure with a giant pendulum with the passenger car hanging from it. And when that swings, it'll swing 120 degrees each way and give you a sense of inversion going upside down. It's past 90 degrees, I call that upside down. I think that the thing is that I like most about this ride is just its physical size. At 147 feet high, it's going to have a huge presence. Even though it's right next to our 400-foot tall skyscraper, it's still a very big ride. And we intentionally selected this location to be as close to the entry driveway as we could, so that people coming in can see the ride and start getting excited about it.
That's awesome. So we're really excited. We're making progress here, and we'll give you all an update as we